Hello and welcome. Today we've got Marina, Carew, and today we are going to be discussing how there's a vitamin scandal sold on the market to the general public by Big Pharma. And now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Instagram channel at nicholas.veniamin, where you can follow all my daily news reels. Marina, thank you so much for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
I'm really well, thank you, Nicholas. How are you?
Really, really good. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I've just become another grandmother. I've got another grandchild, so I've been kept busy with new babies and looking after my other little grandson.
Well, lovely. Well, congratulations to you, a new addition to the family. You must be very happy and over the moon.
Yeah, because we got a very healthy, happy baby. Because my daughter detoxed throughout her pregnancy, because I think it's really important. Babies get over nearly 300 different chemicals in their bodies before they're even born through the umbilical cord.
Wow. I mean, just so much to learn. I mean, I had no idea about that. And I'm someone who takes vitamin C every single day. For me, vitamin C and vitamin D is something that I take every single day. And you just, you're going to teach us something different today because I'm someone who gets vitamins from the market. So how do we know that we're getting the wrong vitamin C that you're saying is a scandal that's been sold to the general public? How do we look out for that? And how do we know we're getting the right vitamins?
It's quite a tricky one, because there is a bit, there has been some stuff in the news about vitamins not being, a lot of synthetic vitamins are not particularly good for you, particularly things like vitamin B, for instance. There's one that, they've got a lot of cyanide in them. They're called cyanocobalamin, and it should be a methyl, but that's given to parents or women who are pregnant, folic acid, and it's we don't really know what we're buying. We go into a shop and we just buy vitamins and think, oh, they're going to make us healthy. But a lot of vitamins can't be used by the body, and some are actually toxic. And the only way to find out is to actually, spend the money, get a decent vitamin, and also go back to the company and ask them for a certificate of analysis, which is a certificate that's done by an independent lab, to check that there's no heavy metals, because a lot of supplements that we take are contaminated with heavy metals. There's something, there's been I was listening to a video the other day about pink Himalayan salt. A lot of people think that's really great and use that instead of table salt. And a lot of it comes from China and contains mercury. So I don't use pink salt, and I haven't used it for years. I use Celtic sea salt because I know that's a good source. But again, we're all being duped by everything every day with what we're buying, and we think we're buying healthy things, and they're just making us sick. And we don't know that they are, we just believe. And with something like vitamin C, you've got ascorbic acid. And again, you've got to look out for where it comes from. There's different types of vitamin C. Vitamin C is very great for helping wound healing, for building collagen. It's one of the most important vitamins that we don't make. So we can get it from apples and oranges and citrus fruits, and a lot of berries. Black currants are full of vitamin C. But again, you've got to eat a decent amount of them, because our food that is now grown has fewer vitamins in it. And a lot of the food is contaminated with pesticides. So it's really difficult for people to find a good source of either whole foods or vitamin products that are clean. And I take vitamin C every day. I take liposomal vitamin C. Liposomal vitamin C is a bit different to normal vitamin C, because it's wrapped up in sort of like it's wrapped up in sort of like fat. Well, I don't really know how to liposomal, and what it does is it goes into the cell more easily, and it doesn't cause problems with the gut. Whereas if you take normal vitamin C that's not liposomal, that can cause gut issues. And if you take too much, you can end up with diarrhea. Having liposomal vitamin C is very similar to having intravenous vitamin C, but it's quite similar. But I would prefer to take liposomal every day rather than have vitamin C intravenously every few months. And of course, all the ones you buy, you don't know what you're getting unless you can go back to the company and say, can we have a certificate of analysis and see what is actually in your vitamins?
Right. Interesting. So let's talk about, where did you find this information from in respect to the vitamins and also the mercury in the Himalayan salt?
I was sent some videos, and I wanted to actually spend a bit of time and go back to where they actually came from, but I haven't had time to locate the actual source. But they were from videos with people that I know are pretty good, and I do know that there are certain products that have things in the microplastics. And I would say, having learned all the stuff that I've learned, you need to go back to the manufacturers and find out a certificate of analysis. It's like bone broth. I went to a manufacturer and I said, well, bone broth is absolutely fantastic for you, but have you got a certificate of analysis? Because a lot of bone broth has got heavy metals in it. So
Right.
you're putting one good thing in, but you're also putting bad stuff in. So I would, cheap stuff. You get a lot of cheap stuff from Holland and Barrett, and that has got fillers in it. Fillers are not great for you.
When you say fillers, you mean they add other things in there to pump up the volume, so
Yeah,
it looks like you're getting more, but you're getting a lot of stuff in there
you get a lot of
that's not good for you, but for the body. It's a bit like what they do with porridge. It's oats, but they add a lot of stuff in it, and there's other grains and stuff. But then I'm hearing oats are really bad for you. Is that true?
Well, oats have got a lot of glyphosate on them.
Why is glyphosate bad for us?
Glyphosate is sprayed on crops, and they use it as an insecticide, but they also use it to dry the crops out so that they can get it through the system more quickly. They can dry them. So glyphosate actually causes leaky gut. And there are some people who think that when we've seen all this increase in gluten sensitivity, it might not actually all be down to gluten. It might be due to the leaky gut. And when you get a leaky gut, these cells in your gut, they have little tight junctions, and these junctions start to leak, and then you get proteins and things going around in your bloodstream that shouldn't be there and causing inflammation and damage.
Interesting.
So glyphosate is very, very common you'll find it's sprayed on lots of things. And one of the most common products is chickpeas, because they use it for the crops, but also to desiccate it, dry it out more quickly.
What do you like to eat that you're confident, that there isn't anything sprayed on there or anything, it's natural, it's healthy? Well, what is your go-to every day? For an example, for me, I try to get, I like eggs. I like eggs, avocados, chicken. I try to get the most organic chicken. How about yourself? What's your go-to?
Yeah, I'm very much like that. I like to eat, if I can get raw butter, I will do. I get organic wherever possible, which isn't always possible. And again, I quite like chicken, but I tend to avoid it if it's not organic. I won't get corn fed because most corn is GMO. I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't give nutrition advice, but I can just tell you what I do. Same with my pets. They get where I get them organic chicken livers and dry them out and make them as treats that way. I make my own treats for them. I try and buy organic fruit and veg wherever I can. I don't eat a lot because I said on my last time we spoke, I have had a gastric band, which makes eating quite a chore sometimes. But I do try and eat organic where I can, which isn't always possible. And then with things like rice, rice has quite a lot of arsenic in it. So I just add a few drops of clean slate when I'm cooking it to make sure that I'm getting rid of the toxins. And another thing that's really toxic, one of the most toxic things that you can drink, is coffee.
My favorite.
Is it? Well, it's one of the most heavily sprayed um, beans in the world, so again, it's coffee is not particularly bad for you. It's got some really good things in it, but it's all the sprays and the chemicals, and a lot of them have mold, which is not good for you.
Right.
So I've been buying. Root have bought one out, which is amazing. They've actually got another lot coming out, and it's grown. It's a single origin Guatemala coffee bean that's grown at a very high altitude. They're the ones that are organic, fair trade, and it's not sprayed at all with anything. Apart from when they get the beans, they do actually treat it with something like Clean Slate, which takes away any toxins. It's certified mold free. It also has they spray it so with something like Clean Slate to get rid of the toxins, but also to put some good minerals and vitamins in it. And they've just had it scored. Have you heard of cup scores?
I have not.
Well, in America they have this thing where they have all these roasters, and they score coffee. And if you've got a rating of 80 or above, that means it's a really good coffee. The new one that Clean Slate have brought out has got a score of 91, which is in the top 5%. So
Wow.
not is it a really smooth coffee. There's a lot of people who couldn't drink coffee before because it made them jittery or they got stomach upset. They actually buy the beans from Root and have found that they can drink coffee, and it's very smooth. It's a really nice tasting coffee. That's the old cup score, which was 84. But the new one's got a cup score of 91. So I can't wait for that to come out. That will be out shortly. And then I've also found out about tea bags. That was something I found out yesterday. A lot of tea bags, because I was aware that tea bags can be bleached, which is not particularly healthy because you're putting it in hot water. But I didn't realise that there were quite so many tea bags, and that the glue that they use in a lot of tea bags is not healthy. They use nylon tea bags, which have got microplastics in them. And because of the heat from the water, you're getting all this stuff in your food and your drink. And it's just like a minefield. So what do you do?
Of course.
You have to start researching the brands. And there are some apps you can get. And I think one of them, I can't remember them all now, but there are some apps you can get which you scan the barcode in. I think it's more in America, but you can get, you scan the barcode in and it will tell you what the nasties are in them.
No, absolutely. And that's why people, like, when they pour some water in their cup with a tea bag, and they sort of stir it, and then they pour the water out, and then they pour the hot water in there just to rinse the tea bag a little bit, because people are aware of these things, and it's terrible what they're doing to us. We should be living in a world where we shouldn't even be facing these problems. We should have
I totally agree.
everything
I
should
totally
be perfect.
I totally agree with you. And people in my generation, I mean, we're a bit luckier because we were older. We didn't have all those problems, we didn't have all those toxins around then, as many as you've got now. So it's the babies and the little children that I feel sorry for. There's a lot of children getting tooth decay really early. And of course, the dentists are saying to the mums, oh, it's the diet and you're not cleaning them properly. But I've been looking into that and finding that a lot of it's to do with toxins that in the womb. So what happens is that the mother's pregnant, the toxins get into the womb, they go to the baby and they affect the bone and the tooth development. So it makes them more susceptible to caries and more susceptible to having a jaw that's not big enough, doesn't grow big enough. And then it just sets up everybody for a lifetime of problems. I mean, it's scary and it's horrible. So I think people need to educate themselves as best as they can. Don't get scared by it, because I think fear is not good for your health. But, just learn what you can and do what you can, but don't get obsessed with it.
Absolutely. How can a Clean Slate help people detoxify their body? Can you explain that, please?
Well, Clean Slate is, it gets lumped in with a lot of zeolites, and Dr. Ram, who created it, she's had Lyme disease, she's had cancer 4 times, and she went into the pharmaceutical industry. She went as a scientist because she wanted to learn how to make herself better and to keep her family safe. And then she's an incredibly intelligent woman. I know she's been on your show, and she's got the most wonderful energy. And she just feels she's been put on this planet to help us all. And so she created Clean Slate. She studied nanotechnology and biotechnology at Harvard. They've since stopped the course of nanotechnology now. I don't know why, but anyway, she was one of the few people that studied nanotechnology, and she found a way of taking clinoptilolite, which is nature's natural detoxifier. I think the Aztecs used to use clinoptilolite to line their viaducts so that they could clean the water. But it's nature's natural purifier, and it's a crystal lattice that is very highly negatively charged. It releases silica when it's broken up in a certain way. And Dr. Christina Ram worked out a way with her nanotechnology of fracking it. So you release lots of bioavailable silicon dioxide. And natural bioavailable silicon dioxide is very healing. And there are papers that show that it's very beneficial to the body for healing, for helping support the body to produce collagen, for your hair, skin, nails, for your gut. And it also has little crystal fragments in it of different sizes. Now, there's always talk about using nanozeolites. And yes, clinoptilolite is a zeolite, but it is a zeolite is actually a group of about 80 crystals. Clinoptilolite is just one of them. But part of the group of zeolites are things like asbestos, iridite, quartz, bentonite. But clinoptilolite is the one that is used in most of the it's used in the zeolite products that people talk about. And a lot of zeolites are have been washed in acid, and then they're micronized, so they're made really into tiny little fragments that are nano. And personally, I wouldn't have anything that's all nano, because there is research to show that maybe it's genotoxic, which means it's toxic to the genes, and also it can cause cellular damage. And I think there's quite a few minerals like nanocolloidal silver that is damaging. There's lots of dentists now promoting nanohydroxyapatite in their toothpaste. And nano, if it's certain type of crystal, for hydroxyapatite, can be really beneficial for the teeth. But if it's not, it can actually harm the body. But again, they need to do more research. But with Clean Slate, you're getting 66.7% of silicon dioxide, which is really healing. And then you're getting a few fragments of crystals of different sizes that then Dr. Ram, she polarizes to make them very highly negatively charged, which then locks onto the crystal, to the toxins, and takes them out of the body. So it's really brilliant for moving heavy metals, glyphosate, bacterial toxins, molds, fungi, fluoride. It binds them up really tightly and takes them out of the body through the urine. And then, so that you don't get something called mineral gapping, because when you take it out of the cells, because lots of enzymes have got magnesium in, magnesium is something that has over 300 different processes in the body. It's needed for 300 different processes. And what happens is that mercury gets into a lot of those receptor sites, and it mimics, or the body thinks that is similar to mercury, but it causes problems everywhere. And when you're using Clean Slate, it gets the mercury out, but so that you don't have all these receptor sites open, Dr. Ram also put in inland sea salt that's been purified, which has got all the trace minerals in it, and they just flood in and fill up the receptor sites. So you're getting all the magnesium, you're getting calcium, you're getting zinc, you're getting all the trace minerals that your body needs, and you're detoxing at the same time. And it's also got a tiny bit of vitamin C in it to help get it into the cells. And the other thing is that it works with frequencies, because she sings to all this stuff when she's made it. And if you've ever seen any of Emoto's work, have you heard of Emoto? He
No.
did Messages in the Water. He was a Japanese guy. He died a couple of years ago, and he found a way of he'd get distilled water, and then he managed to freeze it in a certain way. I don't know how he did it, but then he was able to take photographs. And with distilled water, you just got these amorphous crystals. But he found that if you put it, if you actually played music to it, or you put the water in a glass on a picture, if it was a beautiful picture or a word like angel, then he froze the crystals and you got the most beautiful crystals. And when he put it on the word devil, you got really ugly crystals. And when he played rock music, a lot of the crystals weren't very nice. But when he played Bach and Mozart, all the crystals were absolutely beautiful. And someone has done that with all the root products, and the crystals are absolutely stunning.
Interesting. Very good. I love that, how everything is frequency and energy. And that's what we are. And they're trying to destroy that with
Absolutely.
everything. They're trying to destroy that with everything they're putting in our foods, sugar, in our, we can't
Yeah.
even eat healthy because they're spraying and injecting crap in it, and it's terrible. We need to take responsibility of our health. And I think our health is the number one investment that we should be focusing on. And I'm amazed by the information that you've been teaching. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I'm going to leave the link in the description for Clean Slate. It's something that me and Marina both take every month. We take it every day. We actually order one every month, and we take it every day
Yeah.
under our.
Yeah, I get mine on RPS, which is repeat prescription, and the benefits are that you pay postage the first time, or shipping first time, and after that you get free shipping. And if you spend a minimum of $74 over a 4-month period, then you get a $50 coupon that you can use for a different product that's not on RPS. You can start and stop RPS whenever you like. But if you stop it and then you don't order within 30 days, then the next time you order, you will have to pay another the shipping. But they also have special offers on. So they have RPS calls. They're doing one this week on Sculpt, which is the new product for helping support metabolism, to reset your metabolism. We've had lots of really good feedback with that. I'm on that. And so, I can assure you, they have the highest standards for manufacturing processes, purity of the products, and that to say that they are safe and healthy. And they're also really good for athletes. So they've got all the certification to say that everyone are all banned substance free. So if you're going to get anything, I would suggest to you, Nick, if you're going to have vitamin C and vitamin D, take natural barrier support. That is a powder. It's got vitamin D, liposomal vitamin C, and it's got zinc in it. Comes as a powder. You need 1/3 of a teaspoon a day. So a pot will last you 3 months. And you can just mix it in a smoothie or mix it in your yogurt, or it's too sour. I wouldn't take it,
Yeah.
just straight, because it's too sour. But it's got 1/3 of a teaspoon. I think it's got 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you very much, Marina, for sharing everything with us today. The link will be in the description. Get it now. Your health is number one. It comes before anything. If we don't have our healths, we don't have anything. We can't do anything. It's the number one. Marina, thank you very much for sharing everything with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Yeah, also look after your pets. I've got 3 dogs, and they are between the ages of 7 and 8.5, and everyone thinks they're puppies because they get all their pet products that Root make to keep our pets healthy and give them longer lives. And that's what we
Absolutely.
want for ourselves, and that's what we want for our children, and that's what we want for all our loved ones, including our pets.
No, of course, absolutely. Well, Marina, thank you very much, and we'll speak again very soon. You take care.
Okay. You too. Thank you.